Now, last Sunday, 3 young men were ordained as Redemptorist priests in Dundalk.
But before we chat to Father Brian Nolan about his decision to join the priesthood and how he is settling into his new parish in Cherry Orchard in Dublin, I spoke to people at the Pro Cathedral in Dublin about how they feel about the church at present.
Well, at the moment I'm staggered by the report, but being a Christian, I still won't deny my faith. I still go to church, but I'm a little disillusioned, disappointed with the response to the bishops to the report. I think they all should have resigned.
Do you have children yourself?
I do.
How would you feel if one of them in the past or at present had said, you know, I'm thinking of joining the priesthood?
Well, that would be their, well, that would have been their decision. But I think now I would be, a bit, I don't know whether I'd be so happy about it now at all. I'm not a church goer. I'm a believer, and I live a Catholic life, and I do good. But it's just sheer disgust to think that anybody could treat anybody like that, And
would you be more reluctant to return to the church or to return to regular mass going as a result?
Yes, I think I would, yeah. I say, why can you stand and preach to me when this is going on within your community? I don't do things like that, so how can I listen to you preaching? And I suppose my daughter too, who's 22, would have the same thinking.
Well, I think it's all very messy and awkward, but that it will survive, but not the way it was, I don't think.
I have great respect for all the good priests out there, and I pray for them every day. I know there's lots of bad priests there, but they can't account for all the bad things that happened years and years ago, can they? I think really bishops, they should, once that state's silent, they should step down, I think.
What about your own faith? Is it still intact and as strong as ever?
It hasn't rocked it one bit, no. I have a strong faith and hope to remain that way.
Right, I suppose that should give you some heart, despite the anger that comes across. There's a variety of views there from some people outside the Pro Cathedral. I suppose it gives you some heart that personal faith seems to be intact.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say too, Brian, that myself and I suppose the two can talk on their own behalf. We certainly share that disappointment and that anger too, that how we have been let down by the mismanagement of child sex abuse, clerical sex abuse, and the church cover-up, and also the state complicity in that. There's no way around that. We are very disappointed, and I really understand when people speak like that, and especially, I suppose, they've been people who've been committed to their faith throughout their life, are trying to rear their children as best they can, and then they have this element which just is the complete opposite of how the church is meant to be. So I guess what I draw though, and people did mention it there, is that their faith is still strong, and I think that's good to hear that, and that's that is an encouragement to us. And I guess what inspires me then is right across the country, particularly in areas where people don't like to live, it's neither popular nor profitable, priests and religious brothers and sisters continue to work away and to help people who are marginalised in society. And even recently, I come from Galway, and I'm very aware of how the flooding has impacted on families, especially coming up to Christmas. And as well as state care, there have been a lot of individuals giving help, and also groups like St. Vincent de Paul. So those things inspire me to I suppose, to be open to the change that's needed in the church. And I think it's very interesting that people are criticising the bishops. If we say that the people of God are the church, then I think we need to take seriously what the people of God say. People of God includes priests and religious as well, but also the lay people. And maybe it's a time for a synod in Ireland where bishops, priests and lay people come together to really talk about whatever issues are serious at this time and need to be faced up to.
As you bring in Brian.